Hello everybody, my name is Jen Patrick and I am from Fresno, California. And Jackie and Dana had asked me to do a video of a simple scrapbook page, the process. So here I am. And I have the new In Color collection. So the In Colors, I have the glimmer paper, I have the cardstock, and then I have Unbounded Beauty as my paper suite that I'm working with. And then I pulled in this Attention Shoppers bundle, so the stamp and dies. I'm getting used to the lingo, so bear with me on some of these things. But I'm going to put together a really quick and easy page that can go from simple to really jazzed up depending on the supplies that you use. And so this is my one photo that I'm going to use. It's my daughter and I out shopping actually last weekend. So I thought it would be perfect to use. I really love this set. I thought it was perfect. My daughter is definitely blowing my budget with all her shopping. And then what I'm going to use is this pattern sketchbook. So this is a close to my heart item, but there are tons and tons of, you call them templates, we call them sketches out there. This one happens to give the dimensions of how you're going to cut your papers, and then gives you some instructions on, you know, how to line it up on your page. And it gives you a couple of color, like done layouts, so you have the idea of, you know, what it's going to look like when it's all finished. So I'm using this as my guide, and I kind of started to gather my supplies and figure out like what patterns I was going to use, and but I haven't cut any papers yet, so I'm just going to do that with you while I'm talking through it. So I'm going to set the stamp, and I pulled in a couple of colors, and we're just going to kind of play. So I decided I was going to use this Petunia Pop glimmer paper. I absolutely love glitter paper, glimmer, shimmer, whatever it is. I love it. So I'm going to use this. And then I think that I am going to use, I pulled a couple different colors of cardstock. Initially, I thought I would use green as my base and then white over it. So I cut my white cardstock down to 11.5 by 11.5. I like the double layer on the cardstock for my bases, or just in anything like a pattern. I could have used a full sheet of pattern paper back there. That actually would look really cool if I thought of that ahead of time. But and it just gives you like a little bit of that, you know, color popping through. So I was going to use the green Shy Shamrock, I believe, but then I thought maybe I would do the pink because she's wearing a pink shirt. And so I thought about that, and then I just went with my go-to because this Petunia Pop paper is my favorite. So I'm going with this one. So this is what I'm going to use as the base of my page, and I'm not going to glue that together quite yet. What I like to do is cut all my papers and kind of lay them out and then do all the gluing, because inevitably something will happen. So here are my papers. I have some circles cut, and I cut the shopping cart out of the Petunia Pop glimmer paper, and then I cut some of the shopping bags out already. So those are ready to stamp and color. So I'm going to set those aside. And I already had a couple little strips of the glimmer paper, so I'm going to use these. I need them at 1/2 inch by 10 inch. So one of them already is, and the other one, I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this. I work backwards when I'm doing my trimming, and I use math. Who knew that you needed math and paper crafting, right? But our trimmer has this long arm, as does your trimmer, or I guess you could say, the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. But I really don't like pulling it out unless I absolutely have to. So I work on the 6 inches, and then I'll just do the backwards math to figure out, you know, the dimensions that I need to cut. So I'm going to cut these 4 patterns, I think. I might end up with some extra paper, but I'm going to start with these 4 patterns. So I need it to be 2 or 10 inches tall by, the dimensions on the instructions say 10 inches by 1 inch. So it's 10 inches exactly. And then I'm going to put it into the 1 inch and cut, and then I need a 1/2 inch strip. So this is the, I think this color is Shy Shamrock. I'm calling it that anyway. And then on the back, it's that peach pie pattern. So there's one. And then this one is a 12-inch piece. I love this floral pattern. It is to die for. I absolutely love this pattern. So this is 1 inch and then a 1/2 inch, and then I have to trim those down to the 10-inch tall. So let's do that. I'll just flip it and then cut 2 inches off and do this one, cut another 2 inches off the edge of this one. Okay. So these little scrap pieces, I usually throw them away, but you know, sometimes you could use them. Okay, I'm going to use this Petunia Pop paper, and I don't have enough to do 2 strips of it at the same dimension. So we're just going to do a 1/2 inch of this one. I'm putting it into the 1/2 inch, and it's 10.5 inches tall right now, so I have to cut a 1/2 inch off of it. So we'll throw it back in there and a little 1/2 inch piece off. And then this last one is this, I'm calling it the vine paper. And this one is 12 inches tall, so I'm going to cut a 1 inch strip and a 1/2 inch strip, and then I'm going to cut them down to 10 inches. So there are my pattern pieces. And cut another 2 inches off of this one. And then I need my cardstock. So I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink cardstock, and the cardstock is going to cut, I need another piece. Okay, so this is going to cut a 1 inch, and then I have to cut it down to 10 inches, and then a 1/2 inch. Again, I have to cut that down to 10 inches. And then we're going to cut a photo mat at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to cut the 4 1/4 piece first so that I have the bigger piece left over. And then 6 1/4. And I'm going to hold on to the rest of that. That would be great for a card front. It's actually 5 3/4, I think, wide now. So that would be great for a card front if I needed to do that. So that's a good use of that extra. Okay, and then I need another piece that is 3 by 9. So I'm gonna have to think about which pattern I want to use for that. So while I'm thinking, because I don't want to cut into a full sheet of paper if I don't have to, but let me put these pieces out, and then I'll show you there's a piece that goes across here that I have to figure that out. So we're going to start with our piece, and what it tells me on the instructions is that I'm going to line it up at 1 inch from the bottom. So I use this is what we call a Versa mat. It's a grid mat. It is 12 by 12 all the way, 12 inches across, 12 inches down. And my paper is not completely lined up straight there, but I'm just going to set these on so I know what I'm doing. So it's going to be 1 inch up from the bottom, which also means it's 1 inch down from the top, and 3 inches in from the left side. So I'm going to just start lining these up and placing them where I want them so that I get like kind of the color scheme good. I am not going to put 2 of the green pieces together because that aesthetically wouldn't look right. The pattern tells me I need a 1 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to throw in the glitter piece there. And then another 1 inch piece. So let's go with a green again. So we're just kind of like varying the colors that go across there. And then we're going to go a 1/2 inch. So let me put another petunia. I only have 1 of those. I'm going to put that one there. And then I need another 1/2 inch strip. So we're going to have to go with a different pattern. And then we're going to go with another 1/2 inch strip. So we're going to go with another glitter because that's what I have left. Oh, hold on. I forgot about these guys. Let me cut these down. I thought to myself, there's something I'm missing here. Let me cut these down because these are supposed to be in there too. Okay, so there's one, and I knew I was missing something. There's another one. Okay. So now I think I'm gonna swap out this piece here. So we're gonna throw in the pink a little sooner. Pretty and pink goes a little sooner because I'm gonna have 2 of those. So I don't want them too close to each other. So that's the whole deal, is I don't want these patterns to repeat. I don't want them to repeat, and I don't want them too close to each other. So this one has 3/2 inches, and then it has an incher, and I really like this piece again. And then it has a 1/2 incher. So there's that. So that's how they're gonna line up. And I don't need this one. I have an extra piece in here and I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I don't need this one. This is gonna be my photo mat. So I need something that's gonna go across underneath. And I think I like this green piece here, and I only used it once. And I think that's maybe my culprit. I wasn't gonna use that one. But let's just cut this at the 3" because I've got it. So I've got this piece. It's supposed to be 3 by 9. So I'm gonna cut it at 3 inches tall. This trimmer is seen better days. So it's 3 inches wide, and then it's supposed to be 9 inches tall. So I have to cut 1 inch off of that. And then in the diagram, it shows it just as a straight piece across, like so. Or you can dovetail it. So dovetailing is where I'm gonna make a V. And I know that there's punches that can do this. I don't have a punch for that. So what I'm going to, the way I dovetail, there's a couple different ways to do it. The way I do it is I take my paper and I fold it and I try to match up corner to corner. And then I just give a little tiny pinch at the end there. And I take my scissors and I go from the folded edge to the corner. And I just usually can do this in one like fell swoop. And that gives a really nice even, where they're even on both sides. So then if I really wanted to, I could line this up on the other side and just snip away. But I'm lazy and I won't do that. So I'm gonna pinch this one. And I'm going to do it the same way, but I'll show you another way that you could do it on a piece of scrap. So the folded edge to the corner, and there's my double dovetailed piece. I love that. Here's a little scrap. So what a lot of people do is they will make a little snip mark in the middle about, I mean, it depends on how deep you want your dovetail, but they'll go in the middle and then they'll go corner, cut from the corner to that middle, and then on the other corner to the middle, and there's your dovetail. I don't love doing it that way, so that's not my preferred method, but it also works. So just 2 different ways to do it, right? There's always multiple ways to do things. So this is what the layout is gonna look like. And of course I haven't glued anything down, but the design has a circle over here with, like, you know, your embellishment cluster or whatever you have going on. So I'm gonna do something like this, and then I'm gonna stamp these guys, and I think I have to marker color them. I'm not positive, but that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. So I'm gonna stamp and color in the shopping bags, and then up here I thought I would put my stamped sentiment, and it's going to be shopping is always a good idea, and it's going to go kind of up here. Okay, so super simple. It looks gorgeous. I don't need anything else to it. Okay, but as I'm putting, so this would be perfect for a simple scrapper all by itself. Let me throw my photo on there so you get the idea. Oh my gosh, the colors, I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so this is super, super cute. But as I glue this together and as I assemble it, I'm gonna do just a couple of little tweaks to jazz it up a tiny bit. And so I will walk you through those as we put those together. So let's move this aside. My photo's gonna move aside. This is gonna move aside. And then we're gonna start adhering everything down. Now, remember I said that everything is 1 inch from the top. So that's the top of my base page. The base page is the Petunia Pop, not 1 inch from the white, because I cut that down so that I have a 1/4 inch border. So I'm 1 inch from the top. So I guess it's about 3/4 inches down on the white, and then 3 inches in from the right side. But then when I put all my papers down, I end up being over here at 9.5. So what I'm not sure if this was the intention of the page, or if my cutting is just like that much off that it goes an extra 1/2 inch. I can't imagine that being the case, but I'm actually going to move this over so it's centered, and this is going to start at 2 3/4. And so when I move all the pieces over, they're going to end up being at 9 1/4 on that side. So just to kind of show you like the little tweak I'm making there. The next thing I am going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of like inking here and here with a blending brush. Okay. And so that's why I have out the Pretty in Pink ink pad, because I just wanted to give it a little bit of inking there. Okay. So I'm going to move these. I want to keep them in order because I like this order. And I promise you that when I put it together, I'm totally going to forget which order they were in. So I'm going to move them to the side so that I can work on my base page. I think I'm going to move those ones that way. And then I'm just going to move these guys over here. Hopefully they'll shove those other ones underneath so I can't see them. Hopefully they'll stay in the order I had them. That way I'm good to go. Okay, so now remember, I haven't glued this down yet, so I'm going to ink first, just in case I don't like it. And then I'm going to put it down. So I'm gonna open this up. I have a small little blending brush that I purchased elsewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Now, I have played with these inks just a little bit, and I know that they are super, super juicy. So I'm gonna take a little scratch piece of paper and really like tap that off and kind of make sure that I've got like the coloring down, because I really don't want it that bright. So I'm just gonna take it, and I know I gotta come down or come into about 2 3/4 and go down to about, well, yeah, 2 3/4 and then go down to about the 11 inch mark. And I'm just gonna kind of blend some color over here in the corner, like so. This is just gonna give me a little bit of interest, and I'm gonna come down to about 4 inches because I know that's where my green piece is gonna lie. And I don't want this heavy at all. I just want it like really, 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 really light. And I'm going in circular motion so that I don't end up with any like harsh edges. And I'm just doing circular motions. Okay, so there's that piece there. And we're gonna do the same thing down here at this other end. So let me kind of make there's my 4 inch mark and about 3. So I'm working in this little space right here, and I'm just gonna get started. Some of this will get covered by pattern paper. Some of it will have embellishments on it. Some of it might be underneath a little circle, like shopping cart thing, but we're just gonna go like that. Okay, so I like the way that looks, and we're gonna leave it. Sometimes you just have to walk away when you're doing something. And then when the ink dries, it looks differently. So I know a lot of times when people blend, they don't like the way it looks when it's blended. And then suddenly, you know, they say, oh, well, yours looks so good when you do it. And I think, well, I don't really like it when I do it. But then when you let it dry, you walk away, it ends up looking really, really good. So the next thing I wanted to do is a little bit of color splattering. And so I was trying to think of just like some little techniques that that we both have right at our fingertips. So this is a water brush. I know we have water brushes. And I'm going to grab this Petunia Pop stamp pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze it. And I haven't tried this yet, but I think that it's going to work very similar to how Close to My Hearts did. When I open it up, yes, there we go. So I've got a little puddle in here that I'm going to use with my water brush. So let's see here. There we go. We got a little water. Yep, I'm still on camera. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap this Let's get a little bit more, and maybe I have to do it this way. And I'm just getting a little bit of splattering right in that corner. I just want a little dusting of color, okay? I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera or not. I hope so, but let's get some more color, and we're gonna do it on this corner here. There we go, we got more there. That's excellent. Okay, let's get some more up in the top, because that's exactly the look I was going for right there. And for whatever reason, it's this angle that I'm at that I can't get it. There we go. When you splatter, you have to be careful that you don't get it all over your entire space, but this is, doesn't seem to be going very far, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay, that's exactly what I was looking for right there. Just a little splattering of color, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna clean that little pad up, but we're gonna close it, and we're gonna hope and pray for the best. Okay, now this is just about ready to go. So while I'm waiting for this to dry just a tiny bit so that I can glue it down, I'm just gonna do my stamping on here. But before I did that, I wanted to do a little bit of blending on here as well. So let me get that. For this one, I'm going to use Summer Splash because I don't want it quite as dark. Maybe I'll use the pink. I think I'm gonna use the pink. No, I'm not, because I have pink back there. So we gotta do a little contrasting color. So we're gonna use the Summer Splash, and I'm looking for my little scratch piece of paper. So let's just, I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. Maybe someone can tell me. Okay, so we're just gonna do a little, I just need a little bit of color on here behind my stamping. So that's what's gonna happen. It's just giving me a little bit of color behind my stamping, and I'm gonna stamp in black. So my black right now is right here. Oops. My supplies are all over the place. My space right here is fairly clean, but my supplies are all over the place. So we're gonna stamp in black, and let's get out the stamp. And a block. And then we are stamping. Shopping is always a good idea, so now I have to find it. Okay, there it is. It is upside down, backwards, and hard to find. So I'm gonna put it on the block, and when I do stamping, I like to season my stamps before I use them. So I'm just gonna rub it on my skin, and it collects the oils from my skin, and then it absorbs the ink beautifully. So we're going to stamp that right in the middle. And beautiful, I love it. We'll clean the stamps later. And now I'm ready to do a little bit of assembly. Okay, so I'm bringing my base pages back in, and we are going to adhere it down to the Petunia Pop base. I don't know if you can see on camera or not, but my paper trimmer blade, when I cut this, I have since swapped it out, but it was dulling. So I am going to just take my paper or my scissors and just kind of snip the edge a little bit so that I don't have that frayed edge. And I don't want that on my, I don't want that because you'll see that with the contrast of color, and I don't want that at all. Okay, so I just snipped that off, and then now we're going to adhere down. I want a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So there we go, and I'm ready to put my pieces on. So I'm just gonna put some adhesive on the first section of them in the order that I want to use them. And the blending and water splattering that I have there is all dry. So now I'm going to line this up really good on my Versamat. I was going to go 2 3/4 inches in. It's going to be 1 inch down from the top, 1 inch up from the bottom. This is a directional pattern, so I want to make sure that the leaves and vines are going in the right direction. This other one, or most of them actually, are not directional. But if you do have a directional pattern, you've got to make sure that it is going the direction you want it. Otherwise, it'll look silly. Or not, or that's the look you're going for. Okay, and then this piece. And they just butt right up to each other. I don't have to worry about like spacing them evenly. So then I believe this is going next, because now these all got messed up, of course, right? Okay, so then it was this one. And then this one. Let's put these down and then I'll glue the others. So this process is just really quick and easy. This one. Okay, see, there's my vines. I want to make sure they're going right up and down the correct way. That's a little bit high, so I'm going to pull that off and re-stick it. Okay, and then it was this 1 inch piece and then the other glitter. I think glitter gives everything just that extra sparkle and shine that is perfection. I use glitter in girl pages, boy pages. It doesn't really matter. Male cards, female cards, it doesn't matter to me. I like glitter everywhere. Okay, so here's this piece, and this piece is gonna go approximately 4 inches down from the top and sit right there. And then I'm going to adhere this piece down. This is my photo mat. Gives me about a 1/8 inch border all the way around. And I'm gonna put my picture on foam tape or dimensionals. I don't have any of the dimensionals yet, but when I do, I will be using them. I love to pop things up. So we're just going to add some foam tape back here and pop up my photo. Okay, voila. We're going to use some foam tape on the back of here to pop this up. And we'll glue it down up here. Just kind of go over the photo just a tiny bit because I do still want to see the inking and the water brush splattering back there. And then my bigger one goes over here. So I still want to see the inking and all that. Oh, that's the wrong one. I had a lot of circles cut. This is my shopping cart. So I'll finish this stamping and coloring of all that. But just to, you know, kind of give you the idea, it's going to look like that. And then I will go in with my embellishments. So there's a couple different things that I was looking at doing. First, I have the, I have both of these, the resin dots, and are they on the back? Yeah. The shimmer gems and the resin dots. I have both of those, but I kind of wanted to add just a tiny bit more black. So what, I don't know if you do this or not, but what I have done quite often is taken some either the shimmer gems or the dots, and you can use, if you don't have black embellishments, you can use a Sharpie or you can use a black marker of any kind, and you can color them. So what I thought I would do is color a couple of these black and then also use some colored ones. And then also to add just a little bit more black, I'm gonna take a journal pen and I'm gonna do a black border all the way around this white piece, like a freehand, just really organic border. You can do a couple different ways. I could take a ruler and I could literally, you know, draw the line perfectly exactly where I want it. And I could even line it up on my grid, right, to be like a 1/4 inch in. Or I can do it organically freehand, and that's how I like to do it. So when I do this, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to rest my hand on the paper, and I'm going to pull down towards me. Then I'm going to turn the page. So I don't always do this on camera, so it's a little bit different when you're at a different angle. I'm just going to pull, and I'm kind of moving my hand sort of wavy on purpose because I don't want it to look perfect. Whoops, you know what I mean? So I want it to look like it's supposed to be not straight. If I wanted it perfectly straight, I quite frankly would use a ruler, but I don't want it that way. So I'm purposely just giving it a tiny bit of a wave. So this just gives me just a little touch of black for some more pop. And when I say pop, I mean like a pop of color, even though it's not color. It just gives your eye another place to kind of land amongst all the color. So there you go. So there's my black journal line. And then I will take a couple of these resin dots, and I'm just going to take a Sharpie. I have a really fat one here, but I'm going to take, because I haven't used these peach pie ones, I'm going to do it on the carrier sheet, and I'm going to go all the way around and on the top, all the way around it, because I want to get all the way like along the edges too. So we're going to do, that's 2. Let's just do, I don't know, 3 of them. And when I do my embellishments on, whether it be my card or my layout, I like to do in odd numbers. So groups of 3. And then if I do more than 3, it'll be like 5. So I have to let those dry before I can put them on, but my embellishments are gonna go probably like 3 up here and 3 down here. So that's how I will do them. And I'll mix in the 3 black ones with probably some of the Shy Shamrock in the glitter. That's what I'm working on. So you saw the simple when I laid it out, and then now you see like kind of the elevated with a pop of, you know, some technique and some really just technique with the ink blending and the water brush splattering with your ink pads, and then also just a little bit of blending behind the stamping and adding just a quick little journal pen. So here's my completed layout. I stamped and colored the shopping bags. I assembled the little shopping cart at the embellishment down on this corner. And then I added in the colored resin dots that I colored black, and then some of the glimmer gems. Scrapbooking is all about telling the story. And so no scrapbooking page or layout is complete without a little bit of journaling. The story of this photo is how I rewarded my daughter with an evening and the next day as well of shopping after helping me at a vendor event. So it was a very long day, and this is the 2 of us just enjoying an evening of shopping. So I have my journaling at the bottom, and then I added a little piece at the top so I could remember the date. And now my page is complete. I want to thank you again for inviting me into this group to share with you my process and my simple to elevated scrapbooking page today. And so thank you very much, and take care. Bye-bye.